Hello and welcome back to Serendipity Intended. My name is Tracy Ann and I am ready to jump into day 4 of the Junk Journal July 2025 challenge. Day 4, the prompt is botanical, and I love anything and all things botanical. And typically when I think of botanical, I think of something like this. Right? I love using things like this. I think they're gorgeous, and at the same time, they will not fit with this journal, with the feel that I'm trying to give this journal. I'm trying to do something a little bit different, based on the art than things that I like from this company called Natural Life. I do not get sponsored by them. I just absolutely love them and their products. So this is the feel that I'm going for, and this kind of botanical doesn't really work. So I had to take it in a slightly different direction, and I'm really okay with that. I gathered some things together that fit with my sort of feel, and we're going to go ahead and jump in and get started. I'm gonna kind of move some of these things over to the side. I've got some scraps of paper to start with. I've got some cutouts and things. Some of these are from KI Memories. Some of them I think are from an old Smash Journal kit. Just a variety of things. This is a bag. I can't remember what store I got this from, but it's a bag. I think this is a Project Life card. I got all kinds of things going on. Some distressed crayons to play with in a little while. And I think I might try and use this stamp as well. So here is my page that is my starting point for this video. And I do have a confession. I thought a little bit about this before I started. So I'm not jumping in completely blind like I have been for some of the other videos, or with just an idea and then I'm going to go. This one, I did a little bit more thinking of, I really wanted to use this on this page, and it certainly would have fit. But when I kind of played with the pieces that I had, I realized I didn't want to cover this up. I really just liked this. So what I decided to do instead was to fold it and make an added in page to hinged page here. So this will sit here like this on the page, and then it will lift up and I can use this side, and then I can also do something with this. This image is part of the original book, and I am using sort of the altered book approach for this particular journal, and I'm having a lot of fun letting myself be inspired. I thought this was appropriate to be part of a set of pages about botanicals. So yeah, so this is our first element that's going to go on, is this here. And I need to decide where I'm going to tear this. I think I'm going to tear it. I'm going to use my tearing roller for this. I think I'm going to tear it right along here like so. And there we go. I'll save that for something. I got a nice little rough edge, and put this back. And now I just need to glue this down. Get my lovely little handy dandy catalog glue pad. Sorry about that. It was a glue stick falling over, and I'm a pro at making that happen. You know what? I'm gonna use the glue stick on this, and then just because I'm a little worried, I'm gonna put a tiny amount of glitter glue on the edge here just to help it stay in place. And then I'm gonna glue it pretty close to the edge, maybe a little further down. And smush it real good. Right, get this glue pad out of the way here. All right, so on this page, I'm gonna leave this kind of be for now. So on this page, I don't really want this, although I'm tempted to leave this guerrilla gardening here. But nah, I don't. I want this up here like this. So and I'm going to use this to cover up this page and give me kind of a clean background. And I am thinking, I was originally going to glue the whole thing down, but now I'm thinking it might be kind of fun to leave this side open to be a tuck spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, and I want this side to be the open side. So I'm going to use this tape. Absolutely love this tape. I thought I was ordering it a little bit wider. I messed up there, but that's okay. This is also a useful width. I think I do need to find the slightly wider piece though, and then make sure again I get the right end. And we'll go across the bottom and tear that off. The ultimate in precision. And give that a good little smush. And then I love this tape because I don't have to work super hard. It works well, but at the same time it is fairly easy to get the backing off. Okay, so this is my unsticky side. And then I'm going to place this, I think, right here like this. And then that way I have a nice little tuck spot that I can put something into. So take that out for now. All right, so I've got this, and so when I think botanical, I think flowers, but I want it to be a little bit quirky. So I thought I would use this for my flower head. I thought this was really fun. And then maybe one of these strips for the stem. Get a little bit of extra pattern in there. So maybe like that. And then I thought I could cut this in half and make petals for the flower. So that I'm definitely going to do. But then I also need to figure out, actually, let me grab my scissors really quick and go ahead and cut that. So, you know, this becomes the leaves. However, I end up deciding to do that, and I'll trim that off eventually. So I have my flower here, but I also wanted to include this girl. I thought she was fun. And so I'm going to stamp this onto just some plain white paper. And I'm going to use archival ink so that it doesn't react to water. And then I haven't decided if I'm going to use colored pencils or if I'm going to use markers. But I want to color her and add her possibly to this page. So let me first slide all of this over and out of the way, and then grab my paper and pull out the stamp. This isn't a mounted stamp, you just push it on there. And I'm going to use Ranger Archival ink in Jet Black. This is one of my favorite go-to inks. Put her right about there. So I'm just gonna ink this sucker up as best I can. Make sure I have a good amount of ink because I want a good impression. This is a new ink pad, so it should be nice and juicy. And then we will put her down, and then we'll push all over. I hope I didn't just blur that. The nice thing is, since I'm going to cut this out, I can always redo it if I need to. No, she turned out okay. I wonder if I have enough ink here, because I did get a lot of ink. I wonder if I have enough to make another impression. Nope, I did not. That's okay. We'll put this back into the package. And lid back on my ink. There we go. And cut her off of this page. And so now I've got her. I want super saturated colors. Again, like these, right? So this is what I'm going for. This is the feel I want in my whole journal. So I need to decide whether or not I can do that with colored pencils or if I need to use markers. So I'm actually feeling like the colored pencils would be dark enough and probably make sense. All right, so I'm gonna just color this, and in an effort to keep this video a little bit shorter, I'm sure you don't need to watch me color. I use Prismacolor pencils, so I'm gonna grab my pencils and color this, and then once I've got her colored, I will be back. Okay, I am back. She is colored. I made myself a little color swatch. I don't know if I'll use it, but I have it here. The last thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that the words stand out. Oh, this marker is not as thick as I want. Let's get a little bit bigger. Just so that stands out. Okay, and then I need to cut her out. I am gonna fussy cut pretty close. I'm not gonna go right up to the edge though. I think I want to have just the slightest bit of white around her, kind of peeking through. So that's what I'm gonna, a little too much right there. Actually, here, let me trim off that color swatch right now. And just have that there. And she turned out pretty cute. Glad I found, oopsie, a little bit close. There we go. So when you fussy cut, you are supposed to turn the item that you're cutting rather than trying to move your scissors around. I do not remember what video I was watching when I got that advice, but I have to tell you, it made all the difference in the world. I'm still not super fast. I watch some people fussy cut and they are truly amazing at it. I am decent at it, and that's okay. Like there, I got a little too close as I rushed a bit. Now I am gonna go right in here and cut in this little teeny section, even though I can't see what I'm doing, even though it's just a little bit, because I think it would look nice to have that little teeny bit of an opening. There's one here too. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife. Yeah, so my white border isn't quite as even as, you know, in my dreams it would be. But all in all, it is satisfactory for me. I'm happy with it. I do want to go back right here in this ankle. Clean that up just a bit. There we go. And these paper scraps out of the way. And then find my X-Acto knife. And I'm going to use that just to get this little teeny section cut out. It's basically like a little square. Oh, there we go. And I don't know if you can see the two little holes. Yay, she's just lovely. All right, so now that I have her done, let's bring everything back over here. And so we have our flower and the petals, and then how is she? Oh, she needs to sit on something. Oh, maybe she could sit on this. I think the flower needs to be a little taller. She can be a little shorter. Oh yeah, that is fun. Okay, that makes me very happy. All right, so don't need all of that. So let's start gluing these pieces down. So first thing I need to do is glue the clock face on. And it's not totally even, so my clock isn't going to be totally even, and you know what, that's okay. That's there, and so it'll go out here, and yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift this up and glue the underneath here, and then I'm going to lift this up and glue the underneath here. There. And then once all of that is glued, oopsie, then I can flip it over and I can do this whole thing. And I'm not exactly sure how far down I need to go. I'm going to just let it hang over the edge and dry, and then I'll trim it at the end. That has worked better for me than trying to cut it and get it exactly right. So Well, what is my issue with the glue today? All right, I'm going to use these lines to make sure that I'm up and down. And then, like I said, this is here, and I actually didn't quite cut it or quite glue it far enough down. So we'll trim it off now that it's glued. And then I'll get the last little bit here, glue that down. Okay, and then she needs to sit on here, so we'll get her glued on to her seat. First, that looks good, and then flip her over and add some glue to the back of her, and then glue her down, I think right there. Yay. Okay, all right, I am highly satisfied with this so far. I like that she already has her words, so that is lovely. Although, actually, I have these stickers here, and Be Yourself is cute, but I wonder if this hello would be cuter. Or, ooh, or maybe home. Home. I like the brown. I'm going to put hello back on here. And I'm going to use, oh, wait. There's also grow. Grow, home, grow. I think grow works better. All right, so home goes back as well. I'm not going to use home. And that's all right. Now I do, maybe I should have done this with everything. I do want this to fit in a little bit. I'm going to add some black dots. So I'm just going to get the edges of this. And these stickers are kind of old, and in my experience, they don't stay stuck very well. So I'm going to just add a little bit of glue to help it stay stuck. And then grow. All right. That works for me. And just to make that pop a little bit more, give it some dots, and maybe some lines there. Yep, loving it. And actually, maybe we'll do so these dots here were definitely not part of my original plan. I'm very happy I got the idea. So thinking about this idea of serendipity intended, so this is a great example of having an idea and then deciding just to go with it, and let it be what it is. So a little bit of mark making there, which is great. Okay, and then I have my color strip here, and you know what? I think I'm gonna do the same edging thing with this. Actually, let me be a little bit more together, and I don't actually need the archival for this. Let me grab this one. So this is another one of my favorites, Wicked Black. It's by Colorbox, and I put Velcro dots on the back of my stamp pads, and then I attach this like so. Uh-oh, now I'm confused. Which side is which? This side is the fuzzy side. And then I can use this to add ink, little tool to do some edging. It's not quite even, and again, I am really very okay with that. I think I want it a little bit more pronounced. Go back over some of these edges. Come a little darker, and definitely spot them. Okay, and then put that back there, back on, and then tuck that away in my little storage box. Okay, so I have this little color swatch, and I'm thinking it would be fun to attach this up here. I'm just not yet sure if I want to do anything on the other side. So until I know that for certain, I think I'm going to hold off actually attaching it. So I will leave it there. I do want to grab my pen and show you on the front cover. So again, the original creator, these dotted lines are from her front cover. She uses them throughout the book, and so that is a motif that I'm going to continue. So I'm going to take it around the flower head. Oops. Turn this a bit. I find it easier for some reason to do this going towards myself. So rotate the page that I'm working on to aim it in that direction. I can keep the lines more consistent size that way. So just a little bit of extra dimension there with that. And again, this will go on here. You know what? I want to staple it, but I don't want to do that yet, but I don't want to forget. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and just put a little bit of glue on the back and glue it where I want it, and then that way it's there and I won't forget that I want it there or whatever, and I've got it in place. Okay, so this is kind of the first piece, and then this would be a great spot to do some journaling on. And like I said, I do want to put something here, maybe something round. I got to find something. But now I want to do something on the other side because this looks sort of plain. I do like this. And I have that, oh dear, I glued down her wing because I forgot that I had made this a pocket. So I do want to make something to stick in there, actually sort of like that sticking out there. Sort of upside down, but you can see the flower better this way. So I think I might just do that. It's a pre-made card, and so don't really need to do a lot. Maybe just add something to the top and I'll be good to go. So I'm going to leave her sticking out for now so I don't forget, but I can add something to the top of that in a bit and make a tag. In the meantime, so I've got this page now, and I need to do something just to zhuzh this up a little bit. So what I was thinking, I have this little herb Oh, maybe that's what I could, but then that covers that up. So I had this little herb thing, and I was thinking of maybe paper clipping this here. I know it overlaps this a bit, but I like that, and it's not that important that this is in place. And so I thought maybe I could make a border out of these strips. I don't know if I have enough of it to go all the way around if I cut it in half, but maybe if I do it in thirds, I have enough that I can go most of the way around. So that is what I think I'm going to attempt to do. I also have this little snippet here. I guess I could put onto the edge of this somehow if I was really desperate. I also have this bit, which isn't exactly the same, but could also work. I just like the fact that I used it here, and I would also use it on this page. So we're gonna see how it goes if I do this in thirds. So I'll cut about that much off, and then kind of cut right down the center, and that'll be about thirds. It's not precise, and I'm kind of okay with that. Give it a little bit of a more whimsical, folk arty feel. Okay, and that should be enough. I don't think I'm going to go all the way to the ends with this. Maybe just, part way, and then here I might need to glue. Oh no, actually I don't think I will, because if I do here and then I do, which piece? I guess this one. I tear that there and then there, and then I can glue those down. And again, I'm just trying to be a little whimsical, a little fun, a little relaxed with this, so that makes me happy. Gonna start gluing this down, and I am not terribly worried about every square inch of this getting glued down. That is not a priority for me, as long as it is, the ends are covered, like each end, and I've got something down the center, that'll be fine. Doesn't need to be any more than that. This is a tiny piece of paper. The glue will definitely hold it. And there, and then here. All right. Okay, that totally works for me. All right. Yay. Okay. And let's see. Then again, thinking I'm gonna, maybe I'll attach it to the side rather than the top. Yeah, I think I like that idea better than the top. Works for me. Okay, so that's gonna get attached to the side. I also grabbed those stickers again. So I used Grow here, and I put back Hello and Home Home made with love. Home, that's actually kind of cute. Wonder if I want to do that. Home made with love. Okay, that may grow on me. I have to, I'm not going to glue it down yet, but I also sort of like, if this is here and I glue this like that, no, I need to fill this with something, but I don't think it's this. I don't think it's the sticker, because I really do want to put that there. So oh, although got all these stickers that I've never used. So back to basics. Okay, so that bothers me less because it's bigger and it ties in with the green. Okay, I'm loving that, but I need some more color, and I think here is where I'm going to bring in some of my distress crayons. I'm gonna grab the yellow and I'm gonna add a little bit, and I want to make sure I kind of get where's my stump? Here. Smudge that a little bit, and where is my these are distress crayons, so they can be activated with water. I've got something in there. Yuck. Here we go. Got some yellow going there, like that, and maybe a tiny bit of orange in here. A little bit more than that. A little bit more dimension to the color here. Yeah, I like that. It's subtle, but I think it works. And then gotta get a tiny bit of pink in here too. Because, you know, we can always use, world can always use a little bit of pink. Yeah, there we go. All right, that works for me. Yay, yay, yay. Oops, the wrong lid on the wrong thing. Alrighty. Okay, so then, yeah, that can sit there. And I do think, once again, I'm gonna grab my Wicked Black and zhuzh up the edge just a bit. Tie it in with the watering can that has this, and then once that ink dries, I'll also go back over with my Actually, I probably need to use some glue there. Back in with my micron and do a dotted line around that as well, to get that polka dot thing going on. And so we'll zhuzh on some glue. And so now I don't have quite as much of that pink showing as I had originally. There we go. So there's some pink stuff going on. Okay. All right. So that works for me. And yeah, we'll add that right there. Let me get a paper clip. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my paper clip right here, my little mini paper clip. And I want to add, so the herbs that are listed here are great, but they've left some blank, so you can add your own. So we've got dill, cilantro, mustard seed, basil, parsley, oregano. Now I love me some thyme. Writing on this spiral is not a good idea. And maybe some lemon balm. And I love me some chives. All right, what else can I include? Oh, sage. I could include sage. Sage is a good one. That's not here, is it? And we don't have rosemary. And chamomile, but I don't remember how to spell chamomile. Chamomile. I think that's right. Chamomile. I think that's how you spell it. If it's not, oh well. Okay, so got my herbs there and a little journal spot for the back. And you can actually punch out the ones that you are going to use. I think I'm going to just leave it not punched. And paper clip this onto the side here. Now that is going to show up on the, maybe a little lower, that is going to show up on the spread over here, but I'm okay with that. So there we go. And I do think I like this home thing, but I do want to check and see if I can find something, like the idea of something round here first. So let me go look. I thought I had more random little round things than I do, but I found a few things here. So I thought I'd just try them. So that's about the size I was thinking, but it's kind of plain. I could zhuzh it up with something in the center, perhaps. Oh, like maybe this button brad. So that's actually kind of cute. Let me try, punch a hole more or less in the center of that, and then try this brad. Oh, I forgot to put the pin back in my, oh, hang on, the pin back into my glitter glue. Here we go. All right, so take this button brad, and the silver in this kind of picks up the quote-unquote silver in the watering can, which is kind of fun. All right, so that has a little bit more substance, and I could trace over it, actually. I could trace over it. with colored pencils. In fact, the same one. So that might be a possibility. Yeah, to make this pop a little bit more. Yeah, okay, so that's an option. Let me see. I've also got a few other things, so let me see how those work. And if not, I'm gonna go that route. I've got this. Yeah, that's just blah. Totally not exciting. Then I've got this, which I think color-wise works, but I think it's too modern. Yeah. No. It's more of a maroon color. And then I found this, which I also thought was cute. And it ties in with the yellow, which is sort of nice. This is an option too. Let me color this first and then see what I think about the two options. I'll be right back. Okay, with this now colored and a little bit brighter, let's put the button back on. So I've got this pink, this fabric-y one with the yellow, and then I've got this smaller one. I love this, but I think I actually like the yellow more, just because I feel like it makes more of a statement. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put that down right there. And I want the home on there, made with love. Now I'm gonna take home off again. Poor home. It's getting the short shrift in a big way. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm happy with this. I want to leave some space to journal. Oh, I needed to add, with this dry, I needed to add my dots. And then come back this way. Yeah, again, just that little motif kind of continuing it along. All right, so then the only thing that I still need to do is need to deal with this, because this is sticky. I think I may end up needing to put this here to help hide that. It's a lot of lumpiness in one spot though. Okay, so this came off. I glued it down and it came off. Now, you know what? I'm thinking that maybe this wasn't such a great idea. I just really like it there. I need to put something here to cover it, and this helps. If I go there, and then maybe put that there and there. Okay, it's not ideal, but it puts a lot of bulk right there. I gotta figure that out. So definitely this here. And then I just need some sort of paper or something, like even just this. Yeah, that'll work. This side is more interesting here. Let me trim it off. Get myself a little bit of a rectangle, and then we can put that there like that, and then this here. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And then I'm going to take this brad out. And I'm going to put something else in the center of this that is just solid. So I've got pink, so I need something that will contrast with the pink. And of course, let me push pause again. Okay, this will work. I'm going to use this. I'm going to put something behind it so that I can have some substance to it when I punch it. And then I'm going to use this hole punch here. It's always the tricky part to try and get it somewhat centered. And there we go. And that's reasonably even. And then it can go, that's cute. And let me grab my Wicked Black one more time. And zhuzh up, oops. I grabbed the wrong dauber. Zhuzh up the edge of this so that it stands out a little bit from the flower. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. The phone rang. And I thought it could be my dear husband. And I wanted to grab it. It was not him. It was a telemarketer who I do not wish to talk to. Okay, so now I've got a flower. I've got a little green thing to go here. I could put the flower to cover that side. Little taggy thing sticking out the other side, which is fine. And we're good to go. So now we just need to do some glue. So let's put some glue on the top edge of this. And then some glue here. And then some glue here. Tuck this underneath like so. There. That works. It's fun. It's whimsical. It fits the feel. And yeah. And it keeps this flatter, but it also keeps this from sticking to what's behind it, which is good. And make it a little easier to turn this page, which is also good. Right, and then the only thing that I still need to do, I probably could make other items for this pocket. I'm just gonna do this right now. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find my punch that does right. Once again, hold on. Sorry about that. I always lose this slot punch. Oops, it's this end I want to punch. And get it about centered. Get a nice little slot punched in there. And then let me grab a little snippet of some kind of fabric to make a tag. Be right back. All right, I'm back. I got a little bit of sari silk here, and I think this looks really pretty with the tag. So I'm just gonna feed it through, and I just need the smallest little bit. I'm gonna cut that off and then tear it so that, oh, whoops, I pulled it completely out, so that both ends are raggedy. Actually, I think I'm gonna put it in the other way. So one side has more blue flowers and the other side is mostly just pink. So I'll put the blue flowers aside. And then I think I like it sort of splayed a little bit, like not perfectly up and down, but off to the side a little bit like this. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna grab my tiny stapler here and see if I can if I can do this. Oh, this is when you need multiple hands. All right. Go. Sometimes I wish this was long enough that I could come at it this way. Right, this is not cooperating. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dab just a little bit of glue. It's not fabric glue, I know. If I were really trying to glue this well, I would use fabric glue. I'm really just trying to get it to stay in place long enough for me to staple it. So, a little bit of fabric glue, a little bit of fabric glue. Although actually, maybe I don't want the mini staple. Maybe I want the regular size stapler, which of course here we go. So I'm not going to use the little mini one. I am going to use this larger one because that'll hold it a little bit better. Yeah, that was the right choice. Another time mini stapler. Okay, and then that can tuck in there like that and kind of hangs out the edge, and I'm very good with that. And so there we go. Yeah. I'm still waiting on my machine, that the name of which I cannot remember, to make the numbers. So eventually, once it comes in, I will make a number 4 for this spread, so that I remember that this is prompt 4. But in the meantime, there you go. I hope you enjoyed watching. I definitely had a lot of fun crafting, and I will see you soon. Bye.